isn't it?
It's not long enough. It's not like long enough.
It's like the whole point of a fork is that it's got like proper prongs, and that
Yeah.
doesn't have them.
And like but because like the fork isn't like long enough. So if you're trying to pick up like, for example, 2 grapes, you can only get one at a time, or you get one on like the left hand spark.
It's quite a specific
or
purview.
one on the right hand.
To be wanting to pick up exactly 2 grapes.
And then if you want a third grape,
I can literally not think of a situation where that would occur.
But this happens all the time because, like, for example, if you're eating a full English breakfast with
grapes?
With a spark, when you want to get like a bit of bacon, a bit of egg,
Yeah.
a bit of black pudding,
The Holy Grail.
a bit of you can't do that with the spark because the fork bit isn't long enough. So
it's challenging enough with an actual fork.
Yeah,
so yeah, I can imagine.
You've got to try and like heap it on, but it's just not good.
Although,
Also,
dude,
I think
kind of English breakfast you'd be eating with a spork, I can't imagine. I can imagine it being in a styrofoam tray
from,
as
like,
opposed to like
McDonald's or something.
as opposed to like a cap
also,
plate.
I think, and then you get those fucking sparks that have like a fork on one end and a spoon on the other. Now they're useless because if you get one end dirty, then you can't hold that end anymore. So you have to make a decision before you start eating your meal whether you want to use a spoon or a fork. Because after that, you're fucked.
Dude, I suppose the fact that it's got a spoon at the end of it,
but then
it kind of highlights the lack of confidence the makers have in the actual spork function.
But then the knife for the fork is always on the spoon end, and obviously when you're using a spoon, you're not going to need a knife because if you're using a spoon, you're probably eating soup. And as you may have noticed before, a knife isn't very useful when you've got soup because soup is a liquid. And liquid can't be cut very easily.
It's not, It's a good point. But dude,
sporks, when they're like the proper ones, where they have like a spoon and a fork in the same bit, they never have a knife. So you're there with this like a sausage, for example, and you just can't cut it in half. So you've got to pick up the whole, you either fork it or spoon this sausage. And then you've got to like really slowly just nibble away at it. Or try and put the whole thing in your mouth at once. Do you know what I mean, though? Is anybody with me on this?
To be honest with you, I stopped following you as soon as you started talking about spoon forks.